is living in Germany, and she's also one of the RTT therapists. So, Elena, I would want to ask you, what brought you to become therapist?
I have, for a long time, I've been working as a nurse, and I always cared for people. And even in my private time, I used to have an open ear for everyone around me, and I was caring about everyone. And it kind of, automatically drew people towards me, which needed support, help, care, understanding. And this is just one aspect. Other things were that, well, I experienced a lot of different kinds of traumas myself, and so can relate with many different things people are going through, either if it's physical or mental stuff or situation. Experience all kinds of things, and therefore can really relate if someone would be coming up sharing experiences. And so therefore I started to think like, oh, I would love to work with people. And I mean, I already did, but I could never really do what I wanted to do, because I would have needed always ask the doctor, can I do this? Can I do this? Or you need to ask people from the families of people you've been caring for, like, is this okay? Is that okay? What can I do? Can I help more? And it was tough to do.
Yeah.
And after quite a few years, I used to be a rock climber, and then developed chronic pain and couldn't work anymore. And knew like, I really need to change my life. And so wanting to change my life anyway, wanting to change my profession, and then getting this chronic pain helped me to become this RTT therapist.
Oh, that's an interesting story. So tell me, except of this chronic pain, what do you see like turning point, or when you start feeling that it's turning to the better in your story of trauma?
Well, there was not like a single day when it happened. It kind of changed over time in the process. But I guess as soon the pain became so strong that I couldn't do the things I did anymore, because doing sport was like my main strategy to deal or cope with whatever hit me kind of hard in my life. And this was, I guess, the main turning point, because I realized I really need to change right now. I cannot do what I did before anymore. It's not working, not work-wise, not private. Nothing worked anymore. So I guess that was just the cherry of the cake, but this is what made the big change.
And if we're speaking about the trauma, what do you think that it's critical for people to understand to go on this journey of recovery? Because people are sometimes afraid of starting. So what you would recommend them think about if they're afraid to start this recovery journey?
Well, I would first let them know that it is very important to just get out, to just express yourself, to just be heard, and not just bubble up and be alone and isolate. Because if you are isolated and you're not expressing it, you're dealing it all by yourself. There's no one who listens. It all gets stored in your body, in your cells, in your mind. And there are all these kind of thoughts and patterns of thoughts recreating itself. And then you just always get the same thoughts back in and program so many things you really don't need. And it's so beneficial, so nice, so wonderful to share, to be heard, to reestablish any kind of connection. And if you have a safe space, a safe place, like a therapy environment, you are in good hands. Like if you can choose the therapist, like you can go somewhere and you say like, no, this is a person I would love to work with. This is a person I could work with. This is a person I don't want to work with. Because you are in power, you are in control, and you can choose whom to open up to. So then you can start opening up. And as soon as you start, the process starts. It kicks in, and then you can transform over time, not in a hurry, not in a rush, in a very safe environment.
Was it always easy to go over these things which happened in your life and maybe recall them or process them? Was it easy? Was it hard? Or was it how it felt for you to go through it?
Well, both at the same time, kind of. Mainly, it's not too easy, or at least before I took the steps, I thought it would be hard. And as soon as I did them, it became more easy over time. So let's put it that way. To at first ask for help was the biggest burden I felt like taking. Like it was I really don't think I can ask for help, and whom to ask first, and what could they think? Like my biggest concern really was, what would they think about me? Would they be laughing? Would they trust me? I'm sure they will just refuse to help me, or just say like, oh no, I cannot work with you, like this is a topic I don't want to speak about. And so just asking for help was the biggest burden. And after I did it, I felt like, oh, I felt seen, I felt heard, I felt encouraged to do it again, because I got a yes, and I got help, and I got new ideas, and then I felt encouraged, and then it was more easy afterwards. So all at the same time, I would say.
Yeah, that's great. And so you as RTT therapist also went through RTT therapy, right? It's a part of our training anyway. What did surprise you most when what didn't expect it will happen, and what is surprised you more when you did RTT for yourself?
What surprised me the most was how distanced I actually was from my own feelings, and how many coping strategies I've had which I wasn't aware of, and how good it feels to have a safe space to open up to. And experiencing RTT, well, it's just a complete different tool, method. It's hard to explain, because I have been to psychotherapy, and it was nice to a similar process, because you need to open up and you decide that you want to go there and you get some help. But after psychotherapy, I feel like an open wound, and I'm just alone with this. I need to deal with this, and this is frustrating and terrifying and hard to do. After RTT sessions, I usually felt light, inspired. I always found something which I wasn't aware of, always learned something new, and felt like, okay, this is really what I want to do. I'm on the right track. There was always like a missing link, which I found then, and I said, okay, now I can understand myself better. I have a new skill, I have a new idea. There's something I can do from now on. So I guess accessing my feelings and realizing how close my thoughts are connected to my, or to, in general, physical symptoms. Like how every thought can change your biochemistry. Like how does the thought alone of, oh, I just make one up, like, oh, I'm so scared of the spider in the corner, then I feel tense and I'm nervous. Things pop up. But if I'm just chilling out, saying like, she's eating all of the small insects, and I really keep her better there, because she's beautifully taken care. And if I don't want her spider web anymore, I could place it somewhere else. I could just take it away and let her build a new one, and I'm fine. And this is what you did, what other therapists do. You change the belief. All those changed beliefs give you so much freedom. Like they give me so much freedom to increase my self-esteem, to feel more free, to accept myself with flaws I thought I have, till I finally realized, well, I'm not flawed, I'm just unique, and it's fine. It's all right. There's just this one person with this life story, and that is me. It's fine.
Would you be willing to share with our listeners, like some from your story, part of your story, like maybe like what coping mechanisms you will dealt with, or like how much you felt that trauma affected your life?
Well, it affected me quite a lot. Just to name a few things, from childhood neglect or sexual abuse or mental abuse or even physical abuse. I developed such a strong fear of failure in whatever I started, like whatever I started, I wanted to finish it because I could fail. And so I couldn't do things in front of people because I felt judged with whatever I did. Nail biting. I couldn't stop it. It sometimes comes back, but it's not how it was before. Before I just sit there eating my nails all the time, and I couldn't stop. Even while speaking to people, I would just speak to them like this, and I couldn't stop. Went through mobbing at work, and that, well, kept me up at night. I just got insomnia when I was a kid, which stayed there kind of all my life, and went through drug abuse too. And all of those experiences change you as a person, because you get all of those experiences of not being enough, not doing enough, being judged, being rejected. Fear of not getting out of this cycle. And well, then I started to, I guess one of the first coping mechanisms was when I was a teenager, to start with drugs. They helped me to zoom out of this reality I was in for a certain amount of time. Every drug had a different way of zooming you out. So one is more soothing, one is more activating, one is more making you happy. And so whatever I thought I was lacking, I could go to and get something out of it. Well, now I can sit with it. Now I can, there's an emotion or there's a lack. Okay, what is this emotion? Now I can sit down and feel it. Now it's just not like, oh, I need to find something. We're like, oh, do I have a basic need? Do I want to connect? Do I want to rest? Maybe. Do I need food? What is there? And then I can help myself. But before this, I wasn't able. I couldn't.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. I know that it's not easy to speak about the parts of our lives when we didn't cope well, or how much trauma affect us. So thank you very much for sharing, because it's giving the hope to people to see that they can recover, that they're going through very hard time, or they are struggling, but that there is hope. That's why we're doing this podcast. It's really about bring people hope that there is many way we not cope with the trauma, but there is the way out of it. And so it's I'm really glad that you sharing your story. So and now, Elena, when you're a therapist, to whom you like to work, what you feel called to work with? So what kind of people, women, men, who is the people you working on mainly?
For now, I've been working with different things because I haven't niched yet fully. I will on some point, but I'm not exactly there yet. But people came usually with low self-esteem, phobias, pain, different kinds of physical issues.
It's
Boundary
inter-
setting.
Tell me a little more about if people have the physical issues, yeah, they have the pain or they have the physical issues. Like, what do you see in your client that is behind that often, or how RTT helping with physical issues?
Well, it's different for every person, I guess. But if you change whatever is affecting the person, like it's different for everyone. Whatever harmful thought is repeating within themselves and driving them to do whatever they do to what they think help themselves, but often harm themselves. And there's a lot of self-esteem issues behind it, and unexpressed feelings. What I found in those people with physical issues, they just haven't expressed their feelings often enough, and they just start often very late in their life, and it takes, compared to not physical issues, if they were just mental or emotional, it's not a just, but it's not manifested physical in one certain area, it's more fine. And so I feel it needs some more time to feel physical changes, but the mental state changes first. So they start feeling lighter, expressing more, making easier decisions, or increasing their sleep or eating habits. And then all of a sudden, something is over time.
Yeah,
So they feel
that's very encouraging, isn't it? Because very often the people not linking or not even thinking about seeking the therapy for like mental therapy or psychotherapy for physical issues, but the connection between pain, between our body and our mind is very deep, and we can see it in many illnesses or manifestation, as we call it, physical manifestation, especially in pain, that it's something our mind just so hard to trying to tell us, and we just don't listen, is it? So it's just create the pain. So it's really great, because I think that's really changing the how we can work with ourselves, how we can look on our body, on the way that it's not just what we eat or if we sport something, but what we think, that we could do all right things and still have pain because we don't believe in ourselves, as you said, or have this low self-esteem. So that's really interesting. So do you have some interesting story from a client, what feel some link between some physical manifestation and what was behind that?
I have to think for a second.
Yeah, it's okay.
What was the session? Well, there were some skin issues of a person. A person came with skin issues, loads of skin issues, like big, irritated, I don't know, skin tags kind of.
Yeah, okay.
And they hooked onto everything, and whatever this person was wearing, this person had pain because those tags hooked on, and she just didn't feel well in her skin. Like this person couldn't wear things, couldn't move freely, to be seen in her skin. It was affecting, of course. I mean, imagine everything you wear brings you pain. This is a very intense thing, what is happening to you. And then this person came to me, we had the session together, and I was like, okay, let's work on the skin issue. And I felt very wonderful working with this person. And then after we did the intake and started the session, there was a lot of trauma coming up. and a lot of abuse and a lot of situations where she wasn't able to express herself, because if she would have expressed herself, worse things would have happened, or she would have been killed, or other people would have been killed. And so the skin was crying, the skin was bringing every emotion out which she couldn't express. And after the session, it wasn't like immediate, the next day everything was gone, no, but after 3 or 4 weeks they were soft and they weren't hooking anymore, and the small ones were completely gone, the big ones were healing. And this is like, it was amazing. It was a very intense session for this person, and she was experiencing a lot and going through quite some emotions, but they came up. And afterwards she was lighter, she lost weight, she got happy with her skin. Yeah, that was a quite quick change, I would say.
That's amazing story. It's really like, it's just showing how powerful our mind is it? Like how can like release that emotions, and also how our mind trying to protect us. So yes, our mind in that moment choose to keep quiet and protect to survive, but of course this always have some long-term effect if we not process it afterwards. So that's a really amazing story, and then it's like visible physical change, the body going through. Thank you, that's a really encouraging story.
But I got encouraged by her to keep on going. Like, she was inspiring me, seriously. Being her therapist in the session made me proud. Like, it was, thank you for coming to me.
I feel always same also when I'm working with people, because it's so privileged or like honor to be able to help people and help them to start that journey of recovery, because I think that especially because we have our own experience to going through, and we know how hard it is for people reach for help, how challenging it's to admit what's happened, how hard it is to face the truth about the past which we try to forget or suppressed or not, sometimes people really suppress the memories to the level that they not remember until they go for therapy, but then they feel very free that they can pull it out and they can be heard and they can release it of their mind and of their body. So yeah, it's a big honor to be therapist. So you're saying you're working with all kind of people, low self-esteem, physical pain or manifestations. That's amazing. So how people can reach you? Like, what is the easiest way for people to find you if they will want to contact you?
At the moment, I'm building a website. It just takes longer because I'm not a website developer. I started putting things and it didn't work out, but there's still like all my contact details on it already. So it's on elenadikov.com. How to spell that?
Okay, so you can contact Elena on the elenadikov.com. I will put it also to the information on podcast, so you can contact Elena, or she has the email contact at elenadikov.com. So you can send her email and find if you will feel that she's the right person for you to work with. So we always ask our guests on podcasts, what would be that one biggest, like what you would recommend, like advice for people who maybe just realize how much affected they are by their childhood trauma, how much it's affecting their life. Maybe they have pain, or maybe they have in partnership, or they have the children and start seeing the more how it's what's happened in the past now affecting them. What you would advise them?
Start asking for help. Start to express yourself. If you need some help, ask the song of Madonna, Express Yourself, and listen it over and over again until you feel like you want to express yourself. and then you can find the right person. I guess it will be you, Barb.
It's
I would
yeah.
advise them to go to take a session with you.
Thank you very much. But
I really do.
for
Go to
German speaking,
Barb.
yeah, I would just say,
Get
like,
in a
I don't
session with
speak
Barb.
fluently German, so if you want to therapy in German, go to Elena. She's an amazing therapist also. So I think that it's about that I always start believing that help is possible, that it's that can be changed, that it's not forever, and stop believing that you cannot recover, that it's when you are diagnosed with PTSD, complex PTSD, or with the pain, that you need to learn to live with that. Just believe that there is possible to change it, it's possible to improve it, or it's possible to fully recover from it. So I would want to say big thank you, Elena, for coming on our podcast, Way Out of Childhood Trauma. It was a big pleasure to have you here. And I will thank you. And I will see you in the next episode. And if you will have any questions you will want to speak about, just leave us comment on Spotify, Google Podcast, or Podbeans, or we are on the YouTube as Way Out of Childhood Trauma podcast. So if you leave us comment, we can get back to you, or we can in the next episode to speak about the topic you would like to speak about. So thank you very much, everybody. Bye, Elena.
Bye. Take care.